Hi, everyone. So good to see all you guys back. So, let me tell you what's been going on. It's been 6 years or more since I made my last video. And then, like, my nephew was like on YouTube a couple days ago, and he saw me and he's like, "You're on YouTube and like you're famous." And I'm just like, "I'm not. It's just a video." So, let me introduce myself. My name is Mark Darty, and I am a RN, and I have my Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. So I have my BSN. I'm a registered nurse. So in that previous video that I made years ago that I forgot about, honestly, I talked about LPN and RN school, the differences, and just the critical thinking and like what I thought of LPN school and what I thought of RN school, just the differences between those two, because I think that people should get a good perspective, a real and raw perspective from a nursing student about school. And it's really good for people that, want to go to LPN school first and then go back to RN school. I think I did a really good job explaining a lot in that video of the differences between both schools. So this is just a continuation of that video. A few new things I want to talk about in this video. I went through the comments and thank you guys so much for like all the like nice comments, the like good, vibes, the questions that you were asking. So I went through like all the comments actually, and I was like looking for questions that some of you guys had, and I wanted to answer those questions for you on this video and just talk about other things as well. So, like I said, it's been a long time since I made that video. I think I made that video in like 2016 because, I saw like a little bit of it today, and I was talking about like finishing RN school and getting ready to take my boards for RN school. So, a little bit about me. I was an LPN for 3 years before I went back. Well, not went back. I was an LPN for 3 years before I got my RN. And then I was still am. I don't know why I'm saying I was I went back like 3 years after that and got my bachelor's degree, which I did online. And I'll talk about that in this video as well. But LPN and RN school is both in person. I know a lot of people have like, may hear things or like see things on like the internet or whatever. Like so many things have changed since I graduated RN school. Like I said, it was almost a decade ago. But I think majority like programs, if not all programs, is like in person. And if it's not in person, it might be online, but you still have to go to some type of clinical site so you can learn the skills of becoming a nurse. Whether it's LPN or RN school, like you still have to go to clinicals because you need to learn, because these are the things that you're gonna be expected to know like once you start working as a nurse. So got that covered. So one of the first things I want to talk about is prereqs. I know somebody asked that question in my previous video in the comments about the prereqs for like nursing school. So I'm gonna go over the ones for RN school. And first I wanna say that prereqs are different depending on what state you reside in and like what nursing school you go to. The state set the prereqs that's required of nursing students and what they expect nursing students to take to, get into nursing school. And then schools, on top of that, they satisfy the requirements that the state say that you need. They might add some additional classes just because that's like the, requirement or whatever. So I'm gonna talk about the prereqs that was required of me in Florida because I am licensed in Florida. I got my RN license in Florida. Got my LPN license in Florida as well. So for the RN program, some of the prereqs that was required was college English, college algebra, microbiology, anatomy and physiology 1 with a lab, anatomy and physiology 2 with a lab. I had to take a humanities course, so that's 6 classes. I had to take psychology, so that's 7 classes. I had to take a nutrition class, that was 8. I had to take a sociology class, that's 9. And I had to take a history class, that's 10. I may be messed up. That might be 9 or 10. I forgot. I lost count, but like a 9 or 10. That was the prereqs required for the RN program that I went to in Florida. For LPN school, I didn't have to like take any prereqs. It's like a 1-year program in it. Math, English, and anatomy was incorporated in my LPN program. It wasn't like college algebra that I needed for RN school. It wasn't that prereq. It wasn't the anatomy that I needed for RN school. It was like an LPN version of it. So those are the prereqs. So went over that. I would just next want to talk about a little bit about me. So I went to LPN school first because it worked for me. And I know somebody was asking, like, can you go straight to RN school? You can, yeah, definitely, like 100%. You can go straight to RN school and skipping like LPN school. I went to LPN school first because I was broke at the time, and I just needed to make some money like really fast. So I learned of LPN school, and it was a 1-year program, and I was like, good, that works for me. I can start making money after like a year. As long as I got through LPN school and like passed my boards, like I'll be making some decent money. Before I went to LPN school, I was a CNA for like maybe like 5.5 years at that time. And by the time I finished LPN school, I was a CNA for like 6.5 years. So I did my time. So that's LPN school, like a 1-year program, really quick. I don't think it's too challenging. I mean, I think the most challenging part about it is just staying focused and just doing everything that's required. So that's LPN school. RN school, which I got my ASN degree in, the Associates of Science degree in nursing, was a year program for me as well because I had like my prereqs already done. So like I said, it's a 1-year program. I did the transition program because I was already an LPN. So if you do the transition program, most of the time it's like a year, maybe like a year and a half, because you already got that basic nursing foundation from your LPN school and probably like work experience. So you already got the basics, like your lab work, you know your lab values, you know how to take care of patients, like what to do in like emergencies, about medications already, about like breath sounds, about like just general observation, I would say, because LPNs can assess, so I can't say assessments, but we use observations, even though it's like assessments or whatever. So we have to say observations. So that, so you bring that into the RN program, which is why it's a 1-year program. It's a transition program because it's just building off your RN education. LPN education, sorry about that. It builds off your LPN education. So that was a year program for me. So that's 2 years. Prereqs for me took around like 2 years as well. So that's like 4 years altogether. Then a couple years later, I went back and I got my bachelor's degree in nursing. So I got my BSN in nursing. I did that during COVID when I was a travel nurse. And I was like in the most like deserted place. I remember I was like working in like North Dakota on a travel assignment. And I just knocked it out because I was so bored. And I did my BSN online. So it took me 9 months to get my BSN from my associate's degree. So I went from ASN to BSN. It took me 9 months. I did a program where you work at your own pace. I feel like that worked really well for me. I didn't want like a program where you had like dates and stuff, or you had like a schedule. I want to work at my own pace just because I didn't know how it was going to be because I was a travel nurse at that time. I didn't know if I was going to have the time to stay on track with that. So that's why I did the program that like work at your own pace. And that was a really big benefit for me because like I was like knocking them classes out though. I mean, it took me 9 months. I took like 3 months off, like without doing anything because I was just like over a lot because that was like right during like COVID, and I was just like tired from work and like this experience that COVID like brought from taking care of like really sick patients, and like the being physically tired, the psychological things that came with it from the patients and those family members, and like gowning up, and just COVID really changed us though. It really did. It was horrible from a nurse perspective, and even like probably from like a patient like perspective. It was a lot going on at that time. But back to like my BSN program. So I did it at my own pace, and that worked for me, and it saved me money as well. Next thing I want to talk about is I want to go back to like prereqs for like the RN program. I know I talked about the prereqs, but I want to talk about like what worked for me while I was on my prereqs. So first off, I want to say do what works best for you. Everybody is running their own race, so you shouldn't have to compete or ever think that you have to compete with the next person because they're doing it faster, or they got like better grades or whatever. Do what works like best for you. So when I was doing my prereqs, the thing that worked for me that I noticed like early on was that don't take your hard prereqs together. Like, don't do it, because if you don't have much experience in like the sciences, then it's gonna be like tough, because A&P 1, A&P 2, microbiology, they were like all hard. And like I said, if you don't have that experience, then it's gonna be like really tough because it's a new subject. You learning, a lot of things, and it's important things because it's going to be things that you use in your practice as a nurse, like anatomy. Like you need to know like your main bones. I wouldn't say you have to know like all of them, but you need to know like your main bones, because you're going to be seeing like a lot of like fractures or just ortho stuff. Like know your like tibia and your humerus and like your fibula, like know like your main bones. But in A&P, like know all your bones, because you're going to be expected to like know all of them and their functions and stuff. And yeah, it's tough. So what worked for me was that I didn't take like all my sentences together. I know some people do that, and that's okay. That's what works best for them. But I took like, I think like maybe like English, and because English for me wasn't a hard class. So I took like my English, and I think I took like a psychology, and I took like my microbiology together, because like English and psychology were like pretty easy classes for me. And then I already know that microbiology was going to be like a tough class because I really like don't like science or whatever. So I think I took those classes together. I think my next semester I took like my so like sociology. I think I took like anatomy one at that time, and I think I took like a math, like my college algebra at that time, and that was pretty tough because college algebra and AMP one with a lab, that was like it was pretty tough. Yeah, because AMP is like tough in itself, but I think I took those. And then, I took like some other classes, and I think like maybe like my last semester, I took like my anatomy and physiology too. So my AMP two, along with like other classes. I feel like the math and the sciences are going to be like the hardest classes for anybody because that's math and science is just hard for most people. So do what works best for you. Like I said, I tried not to take my hard classes together. So that's progress. I wanted to back it up and talk about that. So I want to talk about like nursing school, choosing a nursing school and making sure that you're good. So when you're like choosing a nursing school, one of the first things that you want to look for is accreditation. So you want to make sure that whatever school you go to is accredited. And you want to make sure that it's a good accreditation and the right accreditation because it's going to mean a lot in your in the future. Like if you want to go back, like if you get your associate's degree, so you get your associate's degree and you get your RN license and you work, and most hospitals pay for you to go back to school. So you want to like go back to school and get your like bachelor's degree, your BSN or like your MSN or whatever. If you didn't go to like accredited school, it's going to be really hard for you to transfer those classes from your associate's degree to whatever program that you want to do like in the future, whatever. So make sure that you looking up the accreditation, make sure it's the right accreditation. I know one of the big ones in nursing is like CCNE. I think they accredit like associate degree programs in nursing and like bachelor degree programs in nursing, maybe like MSN degrees as well. I think they cover like all the degrees in nursing, CCNE. Another one, it probably have changed, but I know like when I was in nursing school, it was ASIN. But I think it have changed since then. So that's like another like nursing accreditation that most like schools and like employers look at. So ASIN, ACEN, and CCNE are like the nursing accreditations. So they cover just nursing schools. You also want to look at see if they like regionally accredited or like nationally accredited. I heard that regional accreditation is a lot better than national accreditation. I know here in like Florida, we are accredited by like SACS. So it's like the Southern Association of like colleges and schools. So I think it's like SACS, and it covers like so many states, and then like other states have like their own regional accreditation. I don't know how many it is, but I know that it's a couple out there, and it covers like certain states. So I know like SATS covers like Florida and like Georgia and like Alabama, like the southeast states, I would say. So make sure you're looking at, like I say, your nursing accreditation, which is ASIN and CCNE. Like I say, ASIN is probably not ASIN anymore. When I was in like RN school, it was ASIN. But I know that CCNE is still around. And make sure you're looking at your regional accreditations as well. And I know some schools are nationally accredited as well. But like I said, regional accreditation holds more weight. And, what you can do now is like look at, the requirements for schools. Like, I would look at like ASN, BSN, like programs, and look at those requirements and see like what type of accreditation do they want for you to have coming into their program. Most of the time, it's going to be like regional accreditation and some type of nursing accreditation. Usually, it's going to be like CCNE, or I forgot what the other one is. Like I said, it's probably not ASN anymore. So look at that. That's your accreditation when choosing a nursing school. Another thing you want to look at when choosing a nursing school is pass rates. Pass rates are like very, very, very important when choosing a nursing school because you want to go to a nursing school with a pretty good pass rate. So the pass rates are the percentage of their nursing students who took their NCLEX, so they took their boards to become a RN or LPN, who took their nursing boards and passed the first time. So pass rates is always going to be, first time. What did that nursing student did they pass their boards the first time or they didn't? It's gonna be that first time. It doesn't matter like if you failed it and you took it again, that doesn't go into like the pass rate. Pass rate is first time students taking NCLEX. So you want to make sure that that school got a good pass rate as well. And I say anything between like 80s and 90% is pretty good because that lets you know that that school is preparing their students to pass the NCLEX the first time. They are, preparing their students with the knowledge that they need to pass their nursing boards and get their nursing license. So, accreditation and pass rates. Make sure you look at those. And pass rates are usually found on the State Board of Nursing website. So I know like here in Florida, I think it's like the MQA. You can like look up nursing schools and see like their pass rates, their first time like pass rates, the percentage. And also on there, it talks about like their accreditation, which body they are accredited by. So that's just for Florida. I know other states have like different things, but most of the time it's going to be on like your like State Board of Nursing website where you can look up like pass rates. So we got that covered. Next thing I want to talk about is like jobs available. So I'm going to talk about like LPN and RN jobs just because I was both and the difference is I'll talk about pay as well while I'm talking about it. So for LPN, I started my LPN career in assisted living because that was like the first place that hired me and I was happy that I had a job as a nurse. So I went with like the first job that called me back and offered me a job. So I think when I started there in like 2015, I started out at like $17 an hour. Like I said, I am in the state of Florida and Florida isn't one of the best paying states. So I started out at $17 an hour. And then I think maybe a couple months later, maybe like 6 months later, I did get like a dollar raise. So I moved up to like $18 an hour. But other jobs that's available for LPNs is, you got assisted livings, nursing homes. I left my assisted living job after like a year because I just wanted that experience, that nursing experience, so I could apply to other jobs. I left that assisted living job and I went to work at the jail, the county jail. And at the jail, I started out at 21, I want to say like $21 or $21.50 an hour. That was 2016. So from assisted living to working at the jail, I got like a $3 raise. And at the jail, I was PRN at the time because I was in nursing school. So I usually worked like on the weekends at the jail, 12-hour shifts, and went to RN school during the week because I was in that transition program from LPN to RN. So I made like $21.50 working at the jail as an LPN. I missed that job. That was a good job. And then like a couple months later, I did pick up like a full-time job at a nursing home as an LPN. And I think I made like the same thing. I think I made like $21.50 in 2016 at my nursing home job. And I worked like 12 hours night shift at the nursing home. I still worked at the jail like PRN. I was always PRN at the jail. So I would pick up a shift here and there, but at a nursing home, I was full-time, 12 hours nights as a LPN. So back to it. Some of the jobs that's available for LPNs. Don't ever think that you're limited. Don't ever let anyone down talk you about like, oh, you can only do this or you can only do that. Nursing is like endless. There's so many things that you can do. As an LPN, as an RN, you are a nurse and you are needed, and yeah. So some of the jobs available for LPNs. I went over assisted living, nursing homes, the jail, home health, hospice, um, like wound care clinics, like doctor offices, urgent cares. It's a lot of things that you can do as an LPN, and they make pretty good money though. So I mean, if you're LPN or you're going to LPN school, just make sure that you know that it's a lot of things that you can do and a lot of places that you can work as an LPN. Jobs that's available as an RN is just basically like anything. So all the ones that I went over for LPN, it's pretty much available for RNs. Not really sure about assisted livings. Most assisted livings don't need an RN, just because the rules in assisted living is different from, other places like a nursing home. A nursing home is more stricter. So nursing homes, like you gotta have like RN in a building for like so many hours a day. Assisted living, you really don't. So that's probably like one that really don't need a RN. Not really sure about like urgent cares. I don't think they need a RN as well. They probably will hire you because you're RN, but it probably won't be like the best pay. Same as like assisted living. Like they will hire you as an RN, but it probably won't be the best pay just because you really don't need an RN in those two places. So RN opportunities, endless, really is endless. Everything I just said for LPN, of course, most RNs work in hospitals. You got like surgery centers that RNs work in. You got like wound care clinics that RNs work in. You got like insurance companies that hire RNs, like corporate jobs hire RNs. You got like legal practices hire RNs. So RN is just like a lot of jobs. All you gotta do is like literally get on Indeed and type in RN and you'll see like thousands of jobs that pop up. So that's one of the difference between like LPN and RN. Like of course RNs, you're gonna have more opportunities for you there. Since I've been an RN, I mainly been in like the hospital. I did work in the nursing home for a couple of months as an RN, but most of my time, like years, have been in the hospital setting just because I enjoy the hospital setting more. I started out on the observation unit when I first got my RN, which is like a med surg unit. And observation is just really for patients that doctor really don't know if they want to send them home, they want to discharge them, or they want to admit them to the hospital. So they'll come to the observation unit and usually stay there for like 24 or 48 hours, and the doctor decide what they want to do after that time. If they're there longer than that, usually the doctor is going to admit them to the hospital and they'll move to like another unit, or they'll go home. Currently, I am a ER RN right now. I've been doing this for the last couple of years. ER is probably like my favorite. I enjoy it. It's very fast paced. You just got to be on like your P's and Q's in the ER, just because you never know like what's gonna come through those doors. You always gotta stay ready. Like honestly, you gotta stay ready. In the ER. I also worked in like I did a little bit of like ICU as well. I wasn't a big fan of ICU. Just because I want to stay like super busy all the time. I'm a adrenaline junkie, so I needed like that adrenaline rush like all the time, and that's why I like the ED or the ER, and I've been there for so long. So I did ICU for a little bit. I got tired of like honestly like giving baths and like doing eyes and nose like every hour in the chart, and it's a lot in the ICU, like a lot of chart and a lot of like things, and you got to be like on your P's and Q's in ICU. Like you got to be on your P's and Q's because those patients are really really sick, and like take your eyes off of them for a minute, and the next thing you know, they like crashing or something's going on. So that's ICU. Um, I was a travel nurse as well. I traveled for 2 years. I started traveling right at COVID. So I was leaving that like nursing home job. I had already had like hospital experience, but I was leaving like my nursing home job, and I started traveling, and I went back to the hospitals when I started back traveling. Well, when I started traveling. So I started traveling in April 2020, like when COVID first hit. So when the first places that I went to was Maryland. I started there. That was my first travel assignment. But other places I've been to is like Pennsylvania. I was up there for like 2 months. I was in Texas for like 6 months. I was in North Dakota for like 2 months. I was in Miami for a couple of weeks. I was in Jacksonville for a couple of months. And I think those are the places that I've been to. Maryland, Pennsylvania, Miami, Jacksonville. I did an assignment in Tampa as well for a couple of months. Texas and North Dakota. Yeah, I think those are all the places that I traveled. Like I said, it was over like a 2 year time frame. And during that time I was like taking like some months off after travel assignments. Just to rest, because like I said, it was like when COVID was like really bad, and I just needed like a mental break because working through COVID was, it was a lot. So I think I covered most things. What else? While I'm making this video, I'm trying to think of like other things that I should cover in this video. Not sure. I think I covered the things that I wanted to talk about. I will do like another video based on the comments that you leave like under this video. My plan for myself is I'll probably go back to school maybe next year. Probably go back and get my MSN, or I might just go straight to DNP and just get it over with. It's like another 2 to 3 years, so I'm undecided. I'm just not in the right mind frame to go back to schools right now, so I want to set myself up for failure. That's why I always say, and I keep preaching, do what works best for you. Like, don't do it based on other people. Don't look at other people and see that, oh, they're going back to school right now. Oh, they got this degree. Oh, they got that certification. Do what works best for you, because you're going to be more successful when you know what works best for you and what time frame you on. So I'll probably be doing that next year. I think I'll be in a better mind frame next year. And yeah, oh my gosh, I'm still so like shocked. That video like was like so many years ago. I was like, I had to be at least like 25 at that time. Yeah, I'm like 32 now, so that's like 7 years ago. That was a while ago, but yeah. So like I say, thank you guys for like all the comments and questions. I love the questions. Keep asking questions. You know, if your friends or family, want to get into nursing or whatever, or just have interest in it, anybody, check out my video, check out this video, check out last video. Like I said, last video do a really good job of explaining the difference between, you know, LPN school and RN school. And yeah, like, excuse me, because I like to use like my hands, so that's why I'm like, I always use my hands in these videos. But yeah, like, leave comments, like, ask questions. I love you know, responding to questions. I love educating. You know, I'm happy about this. I want to start making more videos. I actually want to start like doing like some nursing education in the future. So I want to do like some videos for students in nursing school, just go over things and like the nursing program. So I want to go over like maybe like teaching you about like lab values and like how things work, and you know, throw a little bit of A&P in there, a little microbiology, you know, just anything nursing. So yeah, like, leave comments, you know, ask questions. I'm here for you. I swear, I promise that it will not be another 6-7 years before I make another video. I'm gonna start like looking for the comments, and if I get like enough comments from this video, then I'll make like another video like very soon. But yeah, thanks for checking out my video, and I hope you guys have a great and productive rest of the day. Bye.